Welcome back, everyone, to theCUBE's live coverage here in Paris, France. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. We're here for the Raise Summit, 2 days where all the leaders around the world come together to talk about the advances in AI infrastructure, data platform layers, and of course the applications where the agents will be taking over the world. That's what they think, but more it's a productivity game, but the big story is the AI infrastructure. It's truly enabling lots of value creation, lots of value extraction, of course, very investment oriented right now. Roman Chernin is the co-founder and chief business officer of Nebius. Thanks for coming on theCUBE, appreciate it.
Yeah, hey.
So AI infrastructure, a lot of investment going in. We're starting to see some visibility into the enablement. And I want to get into that because now as the GPUs get better, the 300s are coming, the 200s are out. On the NVIDIA side, you're starting to see open standards. So you're seeing both camps of AI infrastructure rising up. Thank you very much for what you do.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on.
I like the job we do.
So tell us what you guys do. Explain to the audience what your company is and then we'll get into some of the conversations.
Yeah, so like in simple words, what we build is cloud specialized in AI. So we built all the layers starting from the data centers, design and construction if needed, then the hardware, then the pretty much sophisticated software platform. And I think this is the main kind of angle, how we differentiate ourselves, that we are full stack and we're very much in the software.
So you're specialized, what they call a specialized cloud, neo cloud, whatever you want to call it. I call it a computer. It's a supercomputer that's available to the masses.
I think I like cloud, but because people have a certain expectation how cloud operates. So I think in the evolution of the offering of AI infrastructure, we were moving from we build clusters for dedicated users to more cloud-like experience. And I think it's important to continue this direction, moving this direction because the more we move in a sophisticated use cases, diversified users from large labs and research institute and hyperscalers to enterprises, the more demand will come to the more cloud experience.
Yeah, consumption, pay by the drink.
Yeah, and developer excellence and so on.
Yeah, this is really cool. How many data centers do you guys have? Can you share some stats?
Yeah, I think important thing about us, we are operating on a certain scale in the current shape of the company 1 year. We'll actually celebrate our first official anniversary next week.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And we are now, we started from Europe. Our infrastructure footprint started from one data center in Finland. And now we have 7 across Europe, US, and a little bit of Middle East. We are operating on by the end of the year, we will operate, let's say, high tens of thousands GPUs. I cannot kind of disclose too much because we are publicly traded company, surprisingly. So young, but
congratulations on that too. You don't have to. Don't get in trouble. I really want to get into more of the technical conversation because I think I love the cloud analogy because if you look at this past year, okay, just some stats that we've been tracking. Intel's x86 market shares dropped from 73% to 13% in 1 year. If you asked me that 10 years ago, I would have said that's never going to happen. But it just goes to show you where the world's going. Okay, so obviously GPUs, XPUs, the software is now integrating into the hardware. You see robotics, you see AI factories, supercomputer clusters for the masses, not just domain-specific HPC use cases, now opening up. It's causing an explosion of innovation. Entrepreneurs are energized, enterprises are refactoring how they think about distributed computing.
Yeah.
And so now you have this kind of
inflection moment.
It's an inflection moment and it's the tides are in between and we're going to see, once there's a crossover on the enterprise side, I think we'll see AI in everything. That's what we believe will happen. But it's just limited by where do I get the power, legit power, the horsepower, the speeds, and scale, and that's really the only thing. So I don't want to build it all because the time it takes for me to build the data center or retrofit.
Economically wise, the cycle of the the new chips coming online, the new requirements to physical infrastructure coming is so fast that if you're not specialized in that, if you're not like building your economic model around like this high pace, it's just difficult to justify why you kind of procure that.
Yeah, if you go back 20 years, I've been doing this, I found this company 16 years ago, the SiliconANGLE. The data center business was, buy some real estate from a real estate investment trust in the US, or get a building, it's got internet, got some power, get some racks. Now it's completely designed. Can you share your thoughts, because you mentioned that earlier, because you're taking an intentional approach to the footprint. I'm sure every square meter of the facility is planned meticulously. Share the design criteria you guys take to go, I'd say, full building and full stack.
Yeah, so first, I'm not the best engineer in our company, far from that, but like we intentionally go like down the stack to we obviously rent some of the capacity in that data center, but the most of deployments we do, we at least design. And we have a lot of IP in cooling systems, in engineering system, to make sure that the idea there that if you design the data center with the idea in mind what is the rack design then, and design the rack with the idea in mind what is the software on top, you can do just like more optimized, and I'm not saying about only cost saving, but it's like efficiency.
Yeah.
And I think that what helps us, the core team went out from the large company that has had the experience of building on all these layers. And we, like a lot of people asked at the beginning why you do it, like isn't it slower when you not just integrating the blocks, but we think that if you go in the kind of every single detail of the design of entire stack, it long-term gives you the efficiency.
Talk about some of your customers, how are you guys deploying, and price performance comes up a lot. I want diversity of choice. I want my workloads to go super fast, I'll pay whatever it takes, within reason. And then I want to have some good inference, but I don't want to pay a lot. I mean, I'll pay. So there's different levels of service.
Yeah, someone wants go on spot, someone wants very dedicated, guaranteed like capacity and so on. Yeah, so I think we're quite different from some of the players in this market because I'm kidding that our business is quite simple. Like you raise, you deploy, and you sell, and then you repeat. You raise, you deploy, you sell. Some other people actually do it in different order because they need sell, then they raise, and then they deploy. So we work quite unique in from the capital perspective because we started with the capital. So we were in the position to deploy capacity in advance. So we don't deploy like cluster for the customers, but we like plan for the future demand. It gives us the flexibility to be in a position to provide like all types of on-demand, short-term reservations, spot instances from capital and capacity perspective planning. But on other side, you need to have a software platform to do it. So, and we have like real cloud experience for our customers, so they can run on demand, they can use spot instances, they can do the reservations obviously, and of course, like the large customers go to the long-term contracts also. But yeah, like I think it's very kind of accurate point that we have a lot of diversified workloads, like you have real-time inference that only cares about latency. You have batch inference that you can, if you do right things, do super cost efficient because you can orchestrate the workload across like leftovers of your compute, and you have like large training jobs that require dedicated interconnected clusters, right? And so we try to combine it all together, and our customer base now is quite diversified. It's mostly still from AI native world, like the guys who come to do like they are technical savvy, and but we see more and more customers coming from the enterprise world, like first of all digital companies, but like also life science, also fintech, like hedge funds. And I think the future is moving from this like startup world more to established businesses.
Roman, talk about the power requirements on the energy side, because some build-outs require massive amounts of gigawatts, megawatts, in some cases gigawatts. I've seen folks handle the power quite elegantly, where they don't have to be, they can design it properly. If you have the capital budget in mind, you got to look at the power envelopes you got. So, but then the building configurations could change based on power. I've even talked to some folks that are using air cooling, because they design things properly where they're using air cooled and it's not as dense. There's open standards, some are more NVIDIA oriented, so it's like there's different approaches. What approach do you guys lean to, or does it differ by deployment?
I think now we are on the stage of building large campuses, let's say, like up to gigawatt kind of locations. And of course, the access to the power is the first question you need to solve. But I think that what we found out that actually the problem a little bit accelerated. So there are certain places in the world when you still can go and build efficiently. And we started with air-cooled systems. Now most of the things we're building are liquid-cooled. But again, like having...
It depends on the environment too, right? All right, final question for you. Growth strategy, your plans for the second half of the year, going into 2026. There's a lot of demand, so it's good. Good business climate's good. What's your strategy? What's your growth plans?
So we promised to our shareholders officially that by the end of the year we need to be in a range of 1 billion ARR. So it's, I don't know, growing 10 times during the year, which is like good, but maybe not enough even for this business. The second layer is how we change the value proposition and offering. Again, like I think the most important transition, we started from AI startups, and now the two dimensions we are working on is secure enough of data center and power for largest customers of this market, like super labs and hyperscalers, and be able to serve their needs. And second, continue to build upstack our software offering to be relevant for the enterprises. And I think like next year, like next couple of years, is the transition to enterprises for us.
Enterprises are slowly getting ready.
And like I think like the last 6 months are super promising, because some of the use cases are proved to work, and now we see a huge acceleration of the adoption from enterprises. They cannot say anymore it's not working.
Because they can get RAG, they can get some use cases, they can automate some things. Great stuff. Roman, thank you for coming on theCUBE.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. We'll be following you. We'll do another follow-up session. We'll do a deep dive. Again, the AI infrastructure is diverse, but the one common thread is the demand for the enablement of supercomputing capability, multiple workloads, different kinds of workloads. The AI wave is hitting. This is theCUBE coverage here in Paris. Thanks for watching.